The human research outpost floated in the quiet darkness of space, far away from any busy trade route or any known alien border. It was a lonely place, surrounded by cold stars and empty silence. The small station was home to 30 scientists and a handful of soldiers who protected them. Most days were peaceful. Boring, even. But on this day, something felt wrong the moment the sun of the nearby star rose behind the station. Inside the control room, a young operator named Liam watched his screens with tired eyes. He expected another slow morning. But suddenly one of the screens flashed red. It had never flashed red before. He sat up straight, confused. A strange signal was coming from deep space. It was not human. It was not from any friendly species either. The signal was different. Sharp, almost angry. Liam called his commander immediately. Commander Rhea walked in fast, her boots making a loud sound on the metal floor. She was strict, focused, and never afraid. But even she frowned when she saw the strange pattern on the screen. The signal carried energy spikes that no one had ever recorded. It looked like someone or something was trying to scan the entire system. Rhea ordered a full station alert. Soldiers ran through the halls. Scientists stopped their research and gathered near the emergency rooms. The whole outpost came alive with tension and quiet fear. But the fear became much worse a few minutes later. A new alarm screamed through the station. Something enormous had appeared at the edge of their scanners. A ship. A ship so big that the computer struggled to measure it. It was shaped like a long black arrowhead, covered in armor plates that looked like scales. It had no lights, no windows, no signs that living beings were inside. It just floated in space like a giant shadow. The soldiers in the outpost had never seen anything like it. Even the strongest alien ships known to humans looked tiny next to this one. The unknown vessel slowly turned toward the human outpost without saying a word. Commander Rhea immediately tried to contact the ship. "This is Human Outpost Upsilon 9. We come in peace. Identify yourself." Her voice echoed in the quiet room. There was no answer. She tried again. No response. The ship kept drifting closer, silent and cold. Inside the control room, Liam felt sweat on his forehead. His fingers shook slightly as he checked the scanners again and again, hoping it was a mistake. But it was not. The unknown ship had locked onto the station with some kind of targeting system. Rhea shouted for the shields to be raised. Just 3 seconds after the shields went up, the alien ship fired. A thin, bright beam shot across space like a needle of light. It was silent. It moved too fast for the human eye to follow. The beam hit one of the human satellites, and the entire satellite exploded into dust. No pieces. No fire. Just gone. In 1 second. Everyone in the station froze. No one spoke. No one breathed. The message was clear. The giant ship could erase them anytime it wanted. It didn't even need effort. Rhea forced herself to stay calm. "We did not attack," she whispered. "Why are they doing this?" Before anyone could answer, something new happened. The strange signal returned. But this time, it wasn't just energy. It carried a voice. A cold, dark, metallic voice that sounded like it came from a creature with no heart at all. "Humans," it said slowly. "Congratulations." The entire room went silent again. Liam's hands stopped moving. Everyone listened. "You have just declared war," the voice continued, "on the galaxy's deadliest species." Then the signal ended. The screen went black. Rhea stared at the empty screen in shock. "We didn't declare anything," she said softly. "We didn't even touch them." Fear spread through the station like a cold wind. The soldiers looked at each other, unsure what to do. The scientists whispered nervously. No one understood what the alien meant. Why blame humans for a war they never started? Why call themselves the deadliest species? And why choose humans as their enemy? Before the humans could react, the giant alien ship suddenly vanished. It didn't jump away like normal ships. It simply disappeared, as if space swallowed it. Rhea knew something terrible had begun. She immediately sent an emergency message to Earth. She ordered all soldiers to prepare for evacuation. She told the scientists to gather all important data. The station was now a target. and the enemy was something humans had never faced before. As the crew hurried through the halls, Liam looked out of the window one last time. The empty stars looked peaceful, but he knew the truth. Somewhere out there, the deadliest species in the galaxy was coming for them. And humanity had no idea why. But the first move of the war had already happened. And humans were in danger. The story of fear, action, and survival had just begun.
Part 2 starts with the research outpost still shaking from fear. No one on the station sleeps that night. People sit with bags packed, waiting for the evacuation ship to arrive from Earth. Every shadow feels dangerous. Every sound makes soldiers grab their weapons tighter. The alien message plays again and again in everyone's mind. Congratulations, you have just declared war. No one understands what humans did wrong. Commander Rhea keeps checking the scanners. She expects the giant alien ship to return at any moment and destroy them. But the scanners show only empty space. Too empty. It feels like the whole system is holding its breath. When the evacuation ship finally arrives, everyone rushes on board. But Rhea does not leave. She stands on the bridge and watches the outpost from a distance as it becomes a tiny dot behind them. She feels like she is leaving something unfinished, but she has orders. Go back to Earth and report everything. The evacuation ship jumps into faster-than-light travel. The crew relaxes just a little. Liam walks through the halls, checking on the scientists. Some are crying quietly. Some stare at screens with shaking hands. They all know something big is coming. Everyone fears what humanity will face next. But the jump does not go as planned. Halfway through the journey, the ship shudders. Alarms flash red. The navigation lights flicker. The engines give a loud metallic scream. The jump field collapses. The ship is thrown back into normal space with a violent shake. People fall. Equipment crashes. Sparks fall from the ceiling. Report! Rhea shouts. A pilot checks the controls with trembling fingers. We're not alone. Outside the ship, something massive waits. Not the giant ship from before, but 5 smaller black arrowhead ships, shaped like hunters surrounding prey. No lights, no markings, only cold, sharp armor. They move fast, like sharks in water, circling the human ship. Rhea tries to talk to them. This is a non-combat ship. We are civilians. We want peace. Silence. Liam watches the scanner. His face turns pale. Commander, they're charging weapons. Before Rhea can give an order, a message appears on the main screen. It is not a voice this time. It is a face. The alien has dark metallic skin, glowing red lines under its eyes, and a jaw filled with sharp, bone-like teeth. Its eyes do not blink. It does not look angry. It looks amused, like a predator that sees a new animal for the first time. Humans. It says, you run fast. Good. Prey should run. Rhea steps forward. We are not prey. We. The alien interrupts with a low laugh. Your outpost scanned our territory. That is a challenge. Your satellite pointed toward our border. That is an insult. The galaxy knows our law. If you look at us, you fight us. Liam whispers. But we didn't even know they were there. The alien continues. We are the Varkun. We do not forgive. We do not warn twice. Its eyes glow brighter. We hunt. The screen turns black. The alien ships attack. Bright energy blasts hit the human ship. The shields collapse in seconds. Air leaks through broken metal. Lights die. The ship spins violently. Scientists scream. Soldiers hold on to anything they can. Smoke fills the halls. Rhea shouts orders, trying to keep everyone alive, but the ship is falling apart. The Varkun ships fly with perfect speed, hitting every weak point like they already know human design. It feels like they have studied humans for years. Liam crawls to a console and checks the damage. His voice cracks. Commander, we can't win. We can't even run. Rhea knows he is right, but she sees something else on the scanner. An unknown energy reading, small but growing quickly. Not alien. Not Varkun. Human. Someone out there is coming toward them. Before she can identify the signal, the entire ship shakes again. A Varkun torpedo hits the engine. Fire bursts through the lower deck. The ship is now broken, drifting, helpless. The Varkun ships move in for the kill. Rhea looks at her terrified crew. She makes a decision that no commander ever wants to make. "Prepare for a crash landing," she says. "Wherever that human signal is coming from, we're heading there." The damaged evacuation ship falls toward the unknown source of the signal, leaving a trail of burning metal behind it. Behind them, the Varkun hunters follow like wolves chasing an injured animal. Humanity is about to meet something no one expected, something that will change the war completely. And this is only the beginning. The evacuation ship fell through space like a burning stone. Sparks shot from the engines, fire crawled across the metal floor, and alarms screamed non-stop. People held onto seats, pipes, walls, anything to keep from being thrown around. Liam tried to reach the control panel, but the whole room shook as another Varkun blast hit them from behind. The ship flipped upside down for a moment before stabilizing. Scientists cried. Soldiers shouted. The lights flickered like dying stars. But through the smoke and chaos, Commander Rhea kept her voice strong. "Stay together. No one panics. We are still alive." Her voice was the only thing keeping the crew from breaking. Outside the ship, the Varkun hunters spread out like predators closing in for the final kill. Their black ships glided silently, almost calmly, as if this wasn't a battle. It was just sport. Then the strange human signal ahead of them grew stronger, pulsed like a heartbeat, a beacon, a warning, or maybe a call for help. No one knew, but Rhea aimed for it anyway. Anything was better than dying here. The ship burst out of the clouds of a small dark planet. The sky was filled with storms. Lightning cracked across the horizon. Huge stone pillars rose from the ground like ancient claws. The human signal came from the middle of those pillars. But something was wrong. Liam looked through the cracked window and whispered, "Commander, that's not a human base." There was no building, no ship, no colony. Just a giant metal structure buried deep under the ground, glowing blue at the edges. It looked alien and human at the same time. Familiar, but impossible. Rhea didn't have time to wonder. Their ship was falling fast. "Brace for impact." The ship slammed into the rocky ground. Metal screamed. Fire burst from the sides. The crew was thrown forward. For a moment, everything went black. When Liam opened his eyes, he tasted blood. The lights were dead. Smoke filled the air. People lay on the floor, hurt but still breathing. Rhea forced herself up, her leg bleeding. "Everyone move out," she said. "If we stay here, they'll finish us." The crew stumbled out onto the stormy surface of the planet. Hot rain fell from the sky. The wind howled like a living creature. But the Varkun ships were already landing nearby, their dark shapes cutting through the storm. The humans only had minutes. Rhea looked at the glowing structure buried in the ground. "That signal came from here. Someone or something sent it. We find them." The crew rushed toward the structure. As they got closer, Liam noticed something strange. The ground was covered in old blast marks, metal scars, and broken weapons. Human weapons. "This place was used before," he said quietly. "By us." Rhea touched the metal wall. It felt warm, like it was alive. "How?" "No human records mention a base here." Suddenly, the ground shook. A huge stone door slid open without being touched. Blue light spilled out. A cold voice spoke from inside the structure. "Human presence verified." Everyone jumped back in fear. The voice continued, steady and calm. "Access granted. Enter quickly. Enemy units detected." Liam whispered, "It speaks English." Rhea made a fast decision. "Inside. Now." They ran into the glowing chamber just as Varkun soldiers climbed over the rocks behind them. The aliens were tall, armored, and terrifying, with bright red eyes and long-bladed weapons attached to their arms. But the stone door slammed shut before they reached it. The humans found themselves inside a huge underground hall full of tall pillars, shining screens, and old equipment covered in dust. Everything looked advanced, far beyond anything humans could build today. A hologram suddenly appeared in front of them. A man. a human man wearing an old Earth military uniform. But he looked wrong. His body flickered. His eyes glowed faintly. Liam stepped back. What are you? The hologram smiled slowly. I am Captain Eric Hale, he said. Last survivor of Project Ironbound. The project created a weapon, humans stronger, faster, and smarter than normal. Humans built for war. Rhea stared in shock. That project is a myth. It was erased from all history. Hale nodded. Erased? Because the galaxy feared what we became. The crew exchanged frightened looks. Liam swallowed hard. Why is the Varkun attacking us? Hale's smile faded. Because many years ago, the Varkun fought Project Ironbound, and they lost badly. They swore revenge on all humans for the humiliation. Rhea felt her stomach go cold. So this war started long before us? Yes, Hale said. And now they believe Earth is creating more soldiers like me. Rhea whispered. But we aren't. Hale looked toward the door shaking under Varkun attacks. They don't care. In their culture, revenge is forever. Lightning flashed outside. The door cracked. Varkun voices echoed. Hale raised a glowing hand. The underground hall shook as the Varkun soldiers outside hacked at the stone door, their weapons slicing deep cracks into the barrier. The humans backed away, breathing hard, knowing they only had seconds before the aliens broke through. Inside the glowing chamber, Captain Eric Hale's hologram lifted his hand again. The blue light spreading from his fingers ran into the walls, into the pillars, and into the floor. The entire structure hummed like a giant machine waking from a long sleep. Liam felt the vibrations in his bones. What is happening? Hale spoke calmly, like a teacher explaining something simple. This place is not a base. It is a vault built to protect something the galaxy fears. Rhea tightened her grip on her rifle, her voice hard. Protect what? Hale looked at her with glowing eyes. Humans. When we stop pretending to be weak. Before anyone could ask more, the stone door exploded inward. Varkun soldiers charged in, their armor shining under the blue light. They moved like living blades, fast, silent, deadly. Their weapons glowed red, ready to cut through anything. The humans fell back, firing their guns. Bullets hit the Varkun armor but barely slowed them. One alien leaped forward, knocking a soldier across the room with brutal force. Commander, we can't hold them, Liam shouted. Rhea aimed at a Varkun and fired again and again, her hands steady even as fear tightened her chest. We fight until the last second. But the Varkun kept coming. Then Captain Hale's voice echoed through the hall. Enough! The floor split open beneath the hologram. A metal platform rose, a capsule the size of a human body. It was old, scratched, and covered with warning signs in both human and alien languages. Inside the capsule lay a human figure in dark armor, motionless like a statue. Liam whispered, What is that? Hale smiled slowly. A soldier from my unit, the last real Ironbound. A human designed for war beyond limits. Rhea stared in shock. You're saying this thing can fight the Varkun? Hale's hologram flickered, becoming brighter. Not fight. Hunt. Before Rhea could respond, the capsule hissed open. Cold air rushed out. The armored figure stepped forward, slow but strong, like someone waking from a deep dream. The soldier was human but not normal. His eyes glowed faint white. His armor was scarred from old battles, yet stronger than anything humans could build now. Every movement felt controlled, precise, like a predator in human shape. Varkun soldiers froze for a moment. Even they felt danger. Then the Ironbound moved. He was fast. Too fast for normal eyes. One moment he stood still, the next he was in front of the nearest Varkun. His fist crushed through the alien armor like thin metal. The alien fell without a sound. The other Varkun attacked together, but the Ironbound dodged with sharp, clean motions. He grabbed one alien, spun, and threw it into two others. The impact cracked their armor. He moved like a storm, silent, deadly, unstoppable. The humans stared in shock. They had never seen anything like this. One soldier whispered, He fights like a monster. Hale responded softly, No, he fights like a human who was never allowed to be weak. More Varkun soldiers rushed in. The iron-bound soldier reached into his armor and pulled out a long black blade. It hummed with ancient power, glowing faint blue. One strike cut through 3 aliens. Another cut through a pillar, sending dust flying. The Varkun finally felt something they had never felt from humans before, fear. But Rhea wasn't watching the battle. She was studying the vault, reading the symbols glowing on the walls. Captain Hale, she said, this vault? It was built to hide your unit from the galaxy. Hale nodded. Yes. Rhea stepped closer. Why hide something so powerful? Why not use it to protect Earth? Hale's voice deepened. Because the last time humans used iron-bound soldiers, Earth nearly lost control of us. We were too strong, too fast, too dangerous. We were a weapon without limits. Liam swallowed. So humanity locked you away? Yes, Hale said quietly. They feared we would become a threat bigger than any alien. Suddenly, the iron-bound soldier stopped fighting. He turned his head slowly toward Rhea, as if he heard the conversation. His glowing eyes focused on her. Rhea didn't look away. Are you here to protect us? She asked softly. Or to decide if humanity is worth saving? For a moment, the hall was silent except for the storm outside. The ironbound spoke for the first time. His voice was deep and calm. I am here because your world is in danger, and because you are not ready. Before Rhea could answer, a loud explosion shook the entire vault. The ground cracked. Dust fell from above. Hale's hologram flickered wildly. Liam looked at the scanner on the wall and gasped. Commander, more Varkun ships are landing. Dozens. Maybe hundreds. The vault shook again as another explosion hit the surface above. Dust fell from the ceiling like dry snow. The sound of Varkun war horns echoed through the cracked stone. Deep, sharp, and hungry. The aliens were gathering in huge numbers. A full army. Maybe more. Inside the vault, the humans watched the scanner with growing terror. Red dots filled the screen, hundreds of them, surrounding the entire valley. The Varkun were not just hunting anymore. They were preparing to crush everything on the planet. Rhea felt the fear in her crew. She saw trembling hands, pale faces, silent tears. But before panic could spread, the iron-bound soldier stepped forward. We cannot stay inside this vault, he said. The Varkun will break it open. Then all of you will die. Liam swallowed hard. Can you fight all of them? The ironbound looked at the scanner. His glowing white eyes did not blink. No, not alone. Silence fell. That was the moment the humans understood the real danger. Even their strongest super soldier, a living weapon from a forgotten era, could not defeat the full Varkun war force alone. Rhea's heart beat faster. Their situation was worse than she imagined. Captain Hale's hologram flickered again, his form glitching. There is something you must know before the vault collapses, he said. Something humanity never learned. The reason the Varkun hate us. The humans gathered closer, listening with tense eyes. Hale continued, his voice calm but heavy. Many years ago, before Earth united its colonies, the Varkun attacked one of our secret stations. They wanted to steal a weapon we were building. Project Ironbound. Liam frowned. So they feared your soldiers? Yes, Hale said. But that was not the true reason for the war. His hologram flickered again, showing brief images. Flashes of an old battlefield. Burning ships, broken metal. The sky filled with smoke. The Varkun attacked the station with 1,000 soldiers. They were fearless. They expected us to surrender. His voice darkened. But the station had only 20 ironbound soldiers. Rhea finished it softly. And the 20 soldiers won. Hale nodded slowly. Not just one. They destroyed the entire Varkun force. Not one alien survived. The crew stared in disbelief. Liam whispered, 20 humans killed 1,000 Varkun warriors? That is why the Varkun fear you, Hale said. That is why they hate you. To them, Humans are a monster species wearing a mask of weakness. The hologram glowed brighter. But there is a truth even the Varkun never learned. Everyone leaned closer. Hale spoke slowly. Project Ironbound was not created to fight aliens. Rhea blinked. Then why was it made? To protect humanity from a different enemy, Hale said. A hidden enemy. A species older and deadlier than the Varkun. The ground shook harder. The vault lights flickered. Varkun screams echoed from above as they broke through the outer rocks. Rhea grabbed Hale's hologram by the shoulders, even though her hands passed through him. What enemy? Tell us. Hale looked at her with glowing eyes filled with something like sorrow. They were called the Eridar Collective, a species that lived in the dark between galaxies. They consumed entire worlds silently without warning. They wiped out 13 civilizations before humans even reached the stars. Liam stepped back, horrified. Why didn't anyone tell us? Why erase them from history? Because humanity was not ready to face them again, Hale said. And because Project Ironbound almost destroyed Earth while preparing for that war. Rhea shook her head. But the Varkun think we created you to kill them. Yes, Hale said. They believe the war started because of them. But they are wrong. They were only caught in the middle. The crew stood in stunned silence. For the first time, they realized the truth. This war with the Varkun was not about territory. Not about insults. Not about pride. It was a misunderstanding built on an ancient secret. A misunderstanding that now threatened to wipe out humanity. Suddenly, the vault ceiling cracked open. Light exploded through the stone as dozens of Varkun soldiers dropped inside, roaring with fury. Their blades glowed red. Their armor sparkled with storm lightning. The humans scrambled back. Rhea raised her weapon. Liam grabbed a fallen rifle. The scientists hid behind pillars. The ironbound soldier stepped forward, blade in hand. But something else climbed in after the Varkun. A massive shadow. For legs, black metallic skin. Eyes like burning embers. The ironbound froze. Liam gasped. What is that? Hale whispered. A tracker beast. Created by the Eridar. They are here. The entire vault went silent. Even the Varkun soldiers stepped back nervously. For the first time in the war, the monsters who hunted humans were now scared too. The Eridar were not gone. They were returning. Part 6 began with a strange silence inside the ruined alien warship. The human team moved slowly through the dark metal halls. Their boots made soft echoes, and the air smelled like burnt wires and broken machines. Each step felt heavy, as if the ship itself was watching them. Captain Rian raised his hand, and everyone stopped. His visor flashed with warnings. Something on the ship was still alive. A faint moving shadow appeared at the far end of the corridor. It was tall, thin, and breathing hard. For a second, the team thought it was an enemy soldier, but then it stepped into the dim light. It was a young alien girl. She looked scared, her small hands shaking as she held a broken tool like a weapon. Her skin was pale blue, and her eyes were glowing with fear. She pointed the tool toward the humans, but her arms trembled too much. No one moved. No one spoke. The girl whispered in her language, voice cracking. She thought the humans were here to kill the survivors. She thought they were monsters. The lies her empire told her were strong. But Captain Rian slowly removed his helmet. He showed his face. Calm, human, and soft. He lowered his weapon and raised both hands. It's okay, he said gently. She didn't understand the words, but she felt the tone. The alien girl blinked, confused. Humans were supposed to be violent beasts, but this one looked almost kind. Dr. Lyra walked forward. She knelt to make herself smaller, less scary. She opened a small medical light and placed it on the floor between them like an offering. The girl stared at it, unsure if it was a trap. Suddenly, the ship shook. A deep rumbling sound moved through the walls. The human team spread out, scanning for threats. The alien girl gasped and ran toward a sealed door at the end of the corridor. Behind that door was something dangerous, something she was trying to protect. The humans followed her carefully. The door opened with a loud hiss. Inside, There were 5 more alien children, all huddled around a damaged life support pod. A baby creature inside was struggling to breathe. The children stared at the humans with wide, terrified eyes. Sergeant Cole stepped forward. He looked at the broken machines and sighed. "These kids don't stand a chance if we leave them here." Captain Rian agreed. "We save them, no matter what." The alien children didn't understand the words, but they felt the meaning. For the first time, their fear changed into a small spark of hope. The human engineers moved fast. They fixed the pod with human tools. They repaired wires, replaced circuits, and stabilized power. The baby inside the pod took a deep, strong breath. The alien girl who first found them put her hand over her mouth. A soft tear rolled down her cheek. She whispered something that sounded like a thank you. But the danger was far from over. The ship's core was melting. The whole place could explode in minutes. Captain Rian carried the smallest child. Cole lifted 2 more. Dr. Lyra guided the group while keeping an eye on the baby pod. The alien girl ran beside them, trusting them fully now. The halls shook again. Fire burst from a broken vent. The heat forced them to take a narrow maintenance tunnel, barely big enough for humans. Sparks rained from the ceiling. Cole shielded the children with his armored back, letting the fire hit him instead. The alien children watched in shock. They had never seen warriors protect them like this. When they reached the exit hatch, the alien girl hesitated. She looked back at her destroyed home. She looked forward at the humans, these strange creatures who risked their lives for kids who weren't even their species. Captain Rian knelt and extended his hand to her. "Come with us," he said softly, tapping his chest. "Human promise." She took his hand. The team rushed out of the collapsing ship and jumped onto the rescue craft just as a massive explosion ripped the air behind them. The shockwave shook the entire landing bay. But everyone was safe. The alien children clung to the human soldiers, shaking but alive. The boy with the glowing eyes hugged Cole tightly. The baby slept peacefully in the pod. The alien girl looked out the window at the burning ship, then whispered a single line in broken human language she had heard Captain Rian say earlier. "Thank you." And in that small, quiet moment, the war of fear between humans and her species began to break. The rescue craft floated in the cold black of space. The alien children huddled together, staring out the windows at the burning remains of their homeworld. The human team moved quietly, tired but alert. No one spoke. Everyone felt the weight of what had just happened. The Varkun army had been defeated in part, but the threat was not gone. The Eridar Collective, the hidden enemy Hale had warned about, was still out there, waiting. Captain Rian stood at the control panel. His eyes scanned the stars. He had never felt the universe so alive, so dangerous. Every flicker of light could be a new enemy, every shadow a trap. But for the first time, he felt humanity's strength. Not just weapons, not just strategy, but courage, unity, and fearlessness. Humans could survive the impossible. The alien girl who had joined them sat quietly beside Dr. Lyra. Her small hands touched the window, tracing the stars. She had survived because of humans. She had learned that they were not monsters, not weak, not prey. In her heart, something had shifted. Suddenly, the ship's sensors flashed red. Dozens of blips appeared on the scanner, far larger than the Varkun forces they had fought. They weren't just ships. They were a fleet, silent, dark, and immense. Their shape was unfamiliar, angular, and smooth, almost like they were grown, not built. The Eridar had arrived. Captain Rian gripped the edge of the panel. His jaw tightened. The humans around him froze. The universe seemed to hold its breath. The ironbound soldier stepped forward. His glowing eyes scanned the fleet. His voice was calm but cold. "They are here," he said, "and they are stronger than any species we have faced." The Varkun were nothing compared to this. Rian's mind raced. The children were safe for now, but the humans themselves were outnumbered millions to one. The thought should have been terrifying. It would have destroyed anyone else. But humans were not just fighters. They were survivors, inventors, improvisers. Humans never surrendered. Rian straightened. His voice was steady. "We fight. We warn Earth, and we survive, whatever it takes. The alien girl looked at him, fear and awe mixing in her glowing eyes. She nodded. Somehow she understood. Humans were not prey. Humans were the problem no one could control. The galaxy had underestimated them once, and would pay the price. The fleet of the Eridar advanced, silent and immense. They surrounded the craft, cutting off any escape. But Captain Rian smiled, a spark of something wild in his eyes. "Good," he said. "Let them come." The humans prepared their weapons. The iron-bound soldier readied his glowing blade. Soldiers checked their suits. Engineers primed the ship's defense systems. Every human knew the impossible was about to happen, and they were ready. Outside, the first Eridar ship fired. A beam of black energy raced toward them. Rian dodged it, countering with the craft's new experimental shields. Sparks flew, the ship groaned, and the stars turned red with battle. Humans were fast, humans were clever, humans were unpredictable. They moved in ways the Eridar could not calculate. The alien girl whispered, "They are like nothing I've ever seen." Rian looked at her. "No species has ever seen humans like this, and most will not survive it." The fleet closed in, the battle lights reflecting on the windows. But inside, humanity stood strong. Every soldier, every engineer, every scientist, every single human heart beat with defiance. They were outnumbered, outgunned, and underestimated. But they had one thing the galaxy had never counted on: humans never gave up. Humans never stayed weak. Humans never surrendered. The first shots rang out. And in that instant, the galaxy learned something it had forgotten for millions of years. Humans were the deadliest species alive. The alien girl watched, wide-eyed, as humans fought with strength, courage, and intelligence no one could predict. She realized something terrifying and awe-inspiring at the same time. The humans she had feared were now the only ones who could stop the darkness from consuming everything. And as the Eridar fleet closed in, a single truth echoed across the stars. The galaxy had just declared war on humans. But humans were ready, and the war had only just begun.